We are edging ever closer to the beginning of the 2025 season in Counter-Strike. The Falcons have finally unveiled their new project with Nico at the helm, announcing the signing of the core from Heroic to pair up with the legendary Rifler and Magisk. But the question remains, will this team be good enough for Nico's major aspirations? On the total other side of the Counter-Strike spectrum, we have some pretty damn exciting rumors about a new NiP roster that for the first time in nearly 8 years has me excited about what was formerly my favorite franchise in Counter-Strike. It's roster mania, the moves are going left, right, and center, and I have been here at the epicenter to bring you guys news coverage as it happens, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already because it helps out immensely in the YouTube algorithm. And before we get into the breakdown, I would like to take a second and thank today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by SkinClub, and today I'd like to talk to you about a current special event. SkinClub are the official sponsor of this year's HLTV Awards. If you go to their website and click the events page, click the SkinClub HLTV Awards page, you can make predictions on all of the award categories, and if you get the right results, you'll earn points towards free giveaways for awesome skins. The better your picks, the better potential loot you could win. It's free to enter for anyone with a SkinClub account, and you have until January 11th to make your choices, so make sure you lock them in before then, and best of luck to you. Also, if you decide to open cases on SkinClub, you can use my link in the top of the description for a 7% bonus on your next deposit via crypto, credit card, or with skins from your inventory. Please gamble responsibly. Do not gamble if you are under 18, live in a country or jurisdiction that restricts gambling, or to make a profit. Gambling should be something you do for fun, with money you are okay losing. Addiction is a serious illness, and if you or a loved one are suffering from gambling addiction in the US or Canada, you can reach out to 1-800-GAMBLER toll-free for help. Please be safe and well, and thank you to SkinClub for sponsoring this video. Let's go ahead and get right back to it. Okay, first things first, normally I would put like tournament footage in the background, like demo POVs, but I'll be honest, just didn't feel like doing it today, felt a little bit lazy. So in the background is just some random gameplay I had left over from a Face It match. Feel free to go audio only if you don't want to watch this epic, top tier gameplay from your boy, but that's what's in the background. Anyways, this Falcons saga has been very interesting to watch play out. Obviously, there's been a myriad of names that have been tapped to join Nico and Magisk this offseason, whether it be rumors about Jimmy coming over from Mouse, various rumors about them trying to get Munacy yet again, but a lot of that fell by the wayside. Another rumor that went by, which we'll link into some news later, is that obviously they were tapping like ewjerks or Jambo to try and come in as like young guns with potential, but overall, it seemed very weird. Basically, to me, there were two paths that the Falcons could go down. They were either going to find 3 of the best quality individual players they could to fit alongside Nico and Magisk, or they would try to seek out a core of players to have some VRS standing to go into the new year to work with. Both definitely have their own merits, but not having to start with no Valve ranking points is definitely a huge upside, so seeking out a core 3 of players seems like the more viable role to go down, and that's what Falcons ultimately ended up going with, as it was announced today that Kixan, Dexter, and Tesses from Heroic will be joining the team to fill out the roster. Now, on the surface, I think this is a great core of players to pick up. Kixan is a great in-game leader, Dexter, when he's not having visa issues, has been fantastic, and Tesses has been an incredibly consistent rifler the entire year. Part of me definitely hates that Heroic have just blown sky high out of nowhere, with Nerds going to Liquid, these core 3 going to Falcons, and Shush rumored to go to NiP, more on that in just a minute, but on face value, I think this is a great pickup. The thing we have to ask, is this enough? Because while these Heroic players are very good, it's very clear this wasn't the first choice for the Falcons organization. Because while in a vacuum, this is a great lineup of players. Is it enough to win a major in the current contested field? That's the question we have to ask, because the only thing Nico should be caring about is that last trophy for his legacy, the immortal quest as Last Free Nation put it. So from Nico's perspective, does this roster really put him in a better position to win a major immediately than what he would have been working with in G2? And in my opinion, that would be no. And purely because I don't think it's reasonable to replace the potential output of Munacy and Malbs. Munacy is at worst the 3rd best player in the world right now, and Malbs in his own right in his rookie season has broken into the top 20 and seems to have a pretty high ceiling in his own right. So compared to simply seeking out a proper in-game leader in place of Stacks, it feels like this road is a lot rockier, because the question we now have to ask is how high can this team of players around Nico cap out? Because while Dexter is great, Tesses is great, and Kixan is great, how good are they going to be at their peak? Is Kicksand going to be a better potential IGL than someone like Snappy? I think while he's certainly better right now, I think Snappy is a better tactical in-game leader who simply didn't have the assets this year to work with. Can someone like Dexter elevate to a top 5 opera in the world with consistent playtime? These things are going to nag Falcons throughout the year. Not to say that there aren't upsides, because by signing this heroic core, Falcons now have the Valve ranking points that they had accrued throughout the year, leaving them ranked 8th via VRS standings, so Falcons are going to get invited to pretty much every major tournament. It's just in there, are they going to be able to thrive in the field? Because we know what Nico's going to be. He's going to be a top 5 player in the world, at worst a top 7 or top 8. That means it will fall to everyone else to step up. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Magisk, who while he had an okay year, has really failed to find his peak form from his prime Astralis years. If we can see Magisk shift back into that superstar level, which I still think he's fully capable of, that could be the X factor to elevate this lineup to potential greatness. It just seems to me that this won't be the final form of this roster. This does feel like a bit of a stepping stone. I don't think this will cap out high enough for what Nico will want out of a project like this, and we'll once again have to wait and see how this roster develops over the season. Now, I'm being quite measured in my analysis of this, because normally when I talk about the Falcons, I make a big joke of it, because I really don't like the organization, and that should be for obvious reasons. But I'm going to analyze this purely from the Counter-Strike perspective and leave my biases at the door. I do think that this is going to be a good roster, one that can certainly contend to win titles, but I don't think they are operating as like a tournament favorite. I would still see them as more of a dark horse, similar to where Heroic themselves was for most of this year. If you were to analyze this from the perspective of Heroic adds Nico and Magisk in place of NeRTZ and Shush, I think that's a home run move for Heroic. But from the perspective of Falcons who are trying to buy majors, that's the express purpose of this organization, this doesn't feel like it's going to meet that standard. As always though, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think about these moves in the comments down below. The other part that I want to talk about in this video is that NiP seem to be finally making a move out of mediocrity, and as someone who I was introduced to Counter-Strike watching Ninjas in Pajamas, the A7-0 roster is my favorite roster of all time. I want to see NiP succeed, so these rumors are very exciting. In case you haven't seen the report courtesy of Nell and HLTV, it looks like moving into the new year that NiP are going to clean house. 4 players are going to be leaving the active roster, leaving Wrinkle as the sole remaining member, and in its place, NiP are then looking to build a new core around him with Snappy at the helm, alongside Shush from Heroic, and with the very exciting introduction of ewjerks and Aristos from Saw. Okay, so let's take this one step at a time. Obviously, NiP have been a disaster. We all know that. They've been mediocre for years now, and they've never really built anything competent to what this organization should be fielding. So getting rid of everyone, including Rez, I think makes a lot of sense. Wrinkle, as a young rookie Swedish opper, I think is a good piece to keep, because finding oppers is going to be difficult, and if he can work out the kinks in his game, the raw talent and the eye test shows that he can be quite a valuable piece. Picking up Snappy from Falcons is a great first step. He is an incredible in-game leader. He just hasn't had the assets to work with like he was promised when he was with the Falcons. So give him a new core, a new opportunity, like Alexi B was given with Na'Vi, and maybe he can cook up something awesome. Shush is an incredible glue guy, the leftover piece from Heroic. He's a great, competent veteran. He's also Danish, so he's going to work well with Snappy. And then the X factor for this team is the introduction of ewjerks and Aristos from Saw. Now, ewjerks is someone that I think everyone should be paying attention to. He had a breakout season this year with Saw. In all of their deep runs, like back at Cologne and throughout the major RMRs, he was the one piece that defined this team. Approaching superstar levels of impact against some of the best teams in the world, he looked like an insane rifling talent, and him getting a chance to cut loose, work with an awesome tenured in-game leader like Snappy, really excites me. His game is incredible, he's going to be moldable, and I think he's going to be a great pickup for NiP if this trade goes through. And coming with him is his right-hand man from Saw and Aristos. Now, Aristos was benched out of nowhere right before the Europe RMR, and that certainly shocked everyone who'd been paying attention to Saw. As well, he's not an amazing player, he worked really well in the system, and importantly was a big factor in enabling ewjerks' path of destruction. So those two coming as a unit, bringing with them their synergy and the time they've played together, I really like this. This is certainly a risk, as NiP are basically having to start over. Getting rid of their whole core means that they will have no Valve ranking points going into next year, but obviously they were already a very low ranked team to begin with. They hadn't accumulated enough VRS standing to, I think, be worth holding on to more players. Frankly, if this team is confirmed, I like that NiP are taking a risk and trying something new. They're not just holding on to the legacy of trying to be a Swedish-only organization anymore. They're trying to branch out and simply build good Counter-Strike teams. And this team on paper is really good. I think this team could be like a top 20, maybe even a top 15 team in the world. They're not necessarily going to win S-tier events, but they are sure as hell going to be a lot better in these big events against the best teams than they were with fucking Rez and Maxter. If nothing else, it shows a significant shift in philosophy from this organization, and after nearly 8 years of stagnation, that is a welcome change. NiP are one of the most important organizations to the history of Counter-Strike. They should be fielding some of the best teams in the world, and they've sat on their hands for years recycling shit talent, and now it's a new era. Even if this isn't the final roster, even if they pick up different players, by getting rid of everybody except for Wrinkle, NiP have signaled to the world that they are willing to start over, and frankly, I'm so happy to hear about it. Counter-Strike is a better scene when NiP are vying for championships, and that should be something we can all get behind. Anyways, that's all I got for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about the Falcons and NiP in the comments down below. I'll be down there responding as always. Thank you once again to SkinClub for sponsoring this video. Check out their HLTV Awards prediction page, and if you decide to gamble on their website, use my top link in the description for a 7% deposit bonus. Thank you to SkinClub. Shout out to my channel members Justin, Jesse, Furley, Milan Berta, Dr. Cocktor, Bubblesj, and Patates Köftesi. If you want to become a channel member, you can do so at the link in the description down below. For $5 a month, you can support me directly, get an exclusive role in our community Discord. You will also get your name at the end of every video. Thank you if you decide to do it. Also, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/LionHeartZ2. I stream Sunday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hope you come on by, talk about Counter-Strike, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Peace.